Good evening, everybody. Hi, my name is Christian and I'm with Undique, and today is Friday again. Wow, this week went like a snap. I'm happy to hang out with you guys again this Friday night, and today we talk again a little bit about products we have here on the Quail farm. I give you some news, what's going on, and I hope, you enjoy hanging out with me. I hope you had a great week. And let's get started. What do we have now live here from the Quail farm? Well, we are Quail farm, right? So we do have quail eggs. And I just went out early on today. I went out a little earlier as the time change now settles in with the girls. They lay a lot of eggs already here on the farm a bit earlier now. Usually my girls tend to lay eggs later in the evening, but I went out now shortly before this live and I have the freshest quail eggs here with you. I didn't fill up this carton fully. I didn't get the time to it, but I have a whole bunch of quail eggs with me. And today I show you also what products we make out of quail egg. And I talk a little bit about who we are, what we do, and so let's get started. If you have any comments or questions, you can pop them down below. You can leave a follow as well, and I hope you will enjoy it. So let's take a look. Quail eggs, right? People know chicken eggs, and I just realized I left a chicken egg in the fridge. However, I show you a comparison a little later about what's the difference between quail eggs, chicken eggs, duck eggs in regards to size, for example. Now, we are a network of quail farms here in the US, and we bring to you fresh quail eggs. Awesome little treat. It's great for people who look after their nutrition. There's a lot of nutrition in those little champs, and a little more stuff in there in a little egg than with chicken, for example. So let's take a look at that. You have about 13 to 14 calories for each quail egg, and of that is about 1 gram of fat, and we have 1 gram of protein. So if you want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, protein, I heard, is good for building muscles. That would be a go-to snack for you. Didn't work on me, but I guess I forgot to train a little bit. Anyway, what else we got in the quail egg? We have vitamin A. In a single quail egg, there's about 5% of your recommended daily intake of vitamin A in there. Then vitamin B12, 10% of your daily value. So if you get a dozen or a few dozen from our quail farm shipped to your kitchen and you have breakfast in the morning, the cool thing is you can exactly decide how much you want to have, right? You're only going to eat 6 eggs, you're going to have 8 eggs, you go for the full carton, which would be then about 3 chicken eggs. That would be a lot, I would say. You can really dose as much as you want, and you can use it as a snack, right? You can hot boil it and so on. So lots of good things going on there. And I show you a little later what we do in regards to your four-legged friends as well, right? A cat, a dog, a lizard. We have customers, they buy the quail eggs for the African rattlesnake, because a lot of snakes out there apparently like quail eggs too. Well, let's talk a little bit more about what is in there. And if you click on the product below, you can check it out for yourself. So there is riboflavin in there, about 10% of the daily recommended intake, folate, 5%. Selenium 10%, and way more things. Iron, if you are iron deficient, quail eggs will help with that. They are full of iron as well. Antioxidants, right? Keeps the skin nice. Zinc, that helps really combat a lot of allergies. And allergy season is there, right? Depending where you are in the US, I'm here in Jersey. I have allergies a little as well, especially when I do lawn mowing, so that's coming up soon. And they help with allergies a little. You have lysine in there as well. That helps with the children's bone growth, for example, as well, right? So when my kids are around, they always get quail eggs for breakfast too. A lot of good things in there, and that's what we bring to you from our farm, fresh, fresher than you find in any store, if you find them in any store, right? The quail eggs. Now, you might think, okay, how do I cut this little thing open? How do I break that open? We do have them in our store as well, those quail eggs cutters or scissors. They look like scissors. We have them in green. And you go ahead and you just basically cut off the top here. I don't do that now because I am having breakfast tomorrow, not in the evening anymore. So last time on the show, I did that and made a little mess here. So I try not to break an egg today. Let's see if I manage. If you hang around until the end, we'll find out. And we will find out if Hazel comes to help to present her quail product, which was inspired by her, right? She's our chief treat tester here on the farm, by the way. And I think I have a picture of her in our weekly news. I always present some pictures. Now, but let's start from the beginning. Where did it start with the quail? And therefore, we're gonna have a quick look at my favorite picture, which is here, the first quail I ever hatched over 4 years ago. And yeah, it started with an egg. So the answer is there, right? What came first, the chicken or the egg? It was the quail egg, right? Quail got domesticated about 4,000 years ago. They are not exactly sure when. I mean, it's hard to find records and things like that. But the cool thing about quail is they are easy to keep. So we have, of course, quail hatching eggs here as well on our farm, which we sell and ship to you. And you can order a dozen, 2 dozen, and so on, depending on how many quail you want to get. The hatch rate on shipped eggs, anything around 50% is considered good. Everything over 50% is considered great because the eggs have a little stress when they get shipped. We do a great job in packaging, right? Our breakage rate is below 1%. That means 1 out of 100 orders has an issue with a little breakage. I mean, it's eggs we are shipping. They are very fragile, but all the farmers in our network do an awesome job packaging. So we really select those eggs for you. If an egg doesn't look great for a hatching egg, it becomes a fresh egg. If it's not good enough for a fresh egg, you'll see later here, we have pet products then made out of quail eggs, for example, as well. Or quail themselves. So people keep quail for different reasons, right? Some people just want to have the eggs. Some people want to have the meat as well. Some people have snakes at home or reptiles, so they kind of use it for that too. So a lot of different options out there, right? So you can decide which direction you want to go if you decide to get into quail. Now the question would be why you would go into quail and not chicken, right? Now, there's a big difference in keeping quail or chicken. For example, the time a quail here starts laying eggs, right? It's actually interesting. My quail decided suddenly to lay exactly like after 5.5, 6 weeks. So from the time they hatch out of the egg until it lays an egg on its own, it's adult, it's usually 6 to 10 weeks, right? My girls are a little early. Okay, great. Early bloomer, why not? And I take it. You can't have enough eggs, especially now during hatching season. So we normally ship our eggs out not older than 48 hours. Right now, we actually wait for eggs being late to be shipping them out because there's such a huge demand in this time of the year. But they get shipped quickly, and you see that when you click on the product, depending on where you are in the country, you see the estimated delivery time. And we try to be close to you. We right now 14 farms across the US, from New York, New Jersey, down to Florida, Louisiana, over to Utah, to Texas. We're all over the place. And that helps us also to be close to you, and that the eggs don't have to go coast to coast or things like that, and that we always have availability for you. So that's the cool thing. But yeah, if you looked at the egg prices in the supermarket, I mean, they're slowly coming down, thanks God. But if you think of being more sustainable, have your own backyard flock and don't rely on the supply chain of supermarkets when they suddenly go and limit you on how many eggs you can buy and all that stuff. If you're, looking forward into retirement, or if you need a new hobby, quail is an awesome animal to keep on any homestead on as an additional animal around at home, in a garage, in an aviary, in a little shed, on a farm, of course. They are awesome little animals. They are not as loud than chicken, especially the rooster. And I have a video I'm gonna show you on that, so you can see what's going on there, how loud they actually are. They are not as loud. They have to be kept in enclosures because quail are native to the US, for example. They are native to many continents and countries, but they would just fly off, right? They can fly a couple of 100 feet actually, and so they need to be kept secure also from predators. There's a lot of animals after them, the fox, the hawk, and so on. So you want to keep them safe. And I'll give you later a little idea what you can do in regards to a quail setup. If you have any questions on the go, feel free to drop them in the comments. So I started with quail like over 4 years ago. I started with a carton with a dozen of eggs. I set them into the incubator at New Year's Eve, and in my case it was 18 days. 18 days later, the little chicks hatched out of the egg, and then a couple of weeks later they started laying eggs. Awesome, right? With chicken, you can wait 20 weeks, 21 weeks, 26 weeks, depending on the breed of the chicken. So it's a very long time to wait for the first egg, right? I'm sure all these online marketplaces will be full with advertisements. People are gonna get rid of their coops and all that because they don't have the patience to wait that long for the eggs, right? So if you want to have quickly eggs, easy to handle bird from a size perspective, right? It's not like a huge rooster comes and attacks you. Quail are awesome. Their life cycle is much quicker, and therefore you get quicker eggs, and the eggs, they are more nutrient dense than chicken eggs as well. So it's better nutrition for what you put in. And speaking of putting in, I'm gonna show you later also a great food supplement for quail and other poultry, because it's important to know also in regards to the fresh eggs we sell what is in there, right? I don't use any GMO feed on the farm, right? So good food for the quail means good food for me, right? And I eat them every day myself, my wife, my dog. My dog eats them raw, no problem. We have all the biosecurity things in place, so we don't have to worry about that. But of course, always use caution eating raw eggs, right? It's on every menu in the restaurant for legal reasons, I guess. Anyway, hatching them. It's an awesome experience. Let me show you a little bit what's going on the farm. You get a bit the picture then. So let's dive over here. Not over here. That's when I build a cage. That comes later. What happened this week on the farm? Let's check out the picture gallery here. Here, a little screenshot. We had some bad weather coming through. If bad weather comes through, it's for me time for noodles. Or if I have a busy day on the farm and I need a quick lunch break, then of course I like some ramen noodles. And what is better with ramen noodles than fresh quail eggs with them, right? And I happen to have a source of fresh quail eggs, and you too, since you watch this video now. And so here we go. I had here my ramen cup ready. This is one of these, where you just pour hot water in. With the scissors, I felt like 2 eggs should be good as a little addition, extra protein, extra vitamins, right, for my ramen. So here you go. I crack them in, then you fill it up with hot water, right? And how do I? Yeah, that was home. And how do I switch over here? And then, actually, from the steam of the hot water, they start, cooking already. So that's like halfway through. Looks already better. The white gets actually white, right? The yolk, I like the yolk. I watched it a little bit. I like it when it's still, when you poke it and then, you know what feeling I'm talking about, right? You can also, scoop it in the mouth and then it explodes in there. And this is how it's finally served. Excuse the mess in the background. That's Hazel's toys there laying around. And yeah, so took me 4 minutes to make it, right? Ramen noodles, but with extra quail eggs, extra nutrition there. So if you have a quick meal, it's a good idea. Let me zoom it up a bit. Here we go. You see them here, right? Ah, it's awesome. So yeah, then quail eggs. People always ask me, are they any different of chicken eggs? No, they're not, right? And let me zoom out here a little bit. Can I zoom out? Yes, no, maybe. Quail farmer figures out technology. Here we go. I like schnitzel. I'm from Austria and I like schnitzel. And of course I can use the quail eggs here, in this case multiple quail eggs, to make some lovely schnitzel, right? Schnitzel, if you ever made schnitzel, it's veal, or you can do pork or chicken too, but I like it the traditional Vienna way with veal. You know, bit salt, pepper on top of the veal, in the flour, in the eggs, and then into breadcrumbs. And then you put that in vegetable oil with a bit of butter as well. And then fry it a few minutes. Doesn't have to be too long. Actually, extra tip, if you want the outside to be a bit fluffier, you add a little milk or cream into the eggs. Anyway, so I use the eggs just normal for cooking as well, of course, right? It's awesome, tastes great, and you can't really taste the difference between chicken and quail eggs, but you definitely, you will figure it out. They are more nutrient dense, right? More vitamins and all that good stuff, minerals all in there. So I had schnitzel. That was earlier this week. Spring is coming around here on the farm, and this is Hazel's favorite place here outside at the back porch. It's still a bit of a mess. I have to power wash, so excuse it. But I took that picture because we have this plant there, and it's so nice. And you can see I used up all the firewood for the winter now. So yeah, here at the little homestead, we enjoy the flowers and colors of the nature. Speaking of nature, that picture I took early on today, I didn't get to do the lawn mowing in the front yard yet, and I guess I have some fans because of that. Here you go, some deer from the forest close by. Enjoy it that I didn't do the lawn mowing yet, so I think this weekend the weather doesn't look that great anyway. I'm not gonna do lawn mowing for another few days. Let the grass back come up, and those guys should enjoy it. I mean, they are pests if it comes to our organic garden. They are on the #1 wanted list from my wife. But, they have been here before us, so, yeah. Live and let live, right? I thought I took pictures of the magnolia tree as well, but apparently not. This is an older picture, but since we talk about fresh quail eggs or quail eggs in generally, here a bit of size comparison. The first egg on top there, it's what's considered a jumbo egg. When we say jumbo, we mean the resulting bird in regards to hatching eggs, right? But other than that, people say about 14 grams or more is considered a jumbo egg. Of course, be careful, that's not a double yolker. Double yolker, great for fresh eggs, not a problem to ship it like that. If they fit in the box, we do that. Sometimes they are so big we can't fit them anymore. And for hatching, of course, double yolkers, not such a great idea. So that's just the size comparison. The first is the quail egg. The second here in the middle is a chicken egg. And on the bottom you see a duck egg. So size-wise, a little bit behind the bigger brothers here. But, you can take 2 of them or 3, depending on the size. Sometimes 4. And you'll be fine. Since Hazel is not here in person, but she might come sooner or later. Let me just try this. That sound usually does the trick. We'll find out if Hazel makes an appearance, because I need her soon, because I'm gonna talk about the dog treats too. What we make from quail. Speaking of quail, I have to show you the little babies too. But eggs, right? So Hazel, she loves them. That's our daily routine. Here we go. Hazel, look what I cut open for you. That's what Hazel likes on her food. We're still cooking? Hazel has already dinner time. Oh, look at this golden color. Go ahead, darling. So sometimes she's a little camera shy, as I see today in this live. Normally she lays here behind me, and I told her, hey, we have to go to work, we have to be live. And she disappeared on me. But if she smells a bit the dog treats, maybe she comes. We'll find out. I'm not gonna force her, right? She has her own will. Sometimes she's camera shy. That's okay. I used to be a little camera shy too when I was, well, actually, when I was younger, I was up to say, actually, quite recently. Anyway, who is not camera shy? Let's take a look. Our quail babies. I have another hatch coming next week. Next week is lockdown, and then a few days later, babies will hatch again. This is the a bit older video. Let's see, when did I take that one? Yeah, just a couple of days ago. So that's the babies in the brooder. Let's take a look. And at the end of this video, you're gonna hear a rooster crowing, screaming, crowing. Let's see. There's some action there.
What's up, guys? That's a lot of baby quail. Aren't they cute?
There you heard it. Yeah, the rooster is not that loud. Actually, you know, depending where you keep them, the wild birds around here, they are, flying over and all the place. They are louder than my roosters. So no issues there to disturb any kind of neighbors or people sleeping or whatever, because they crow at night too. Yeah, I mean, they're animals, right? I barely ever see them sleep. Sometimes they hang out there a little bit, but or cuddle together. But there, the brooder is heated. They like it warm. Speaking about hatching eggs, right? So you hatch out those little birdies. In regards to hatching, right? And if kids are watching, do not order them without permission of your parents, because they are non-returnable. They are fresh items. There is no return on them, right? Check with your parents, because you're gonna need an incubator. Incubators, you find them on Amazon. There's all different models, great stuff out there. And it's basically, let's call it a box with a ventilator usually in there. There's still air as well, and a heating element, and that keeps basically body temperature, 37.5 Celsius or 100.5 Fahrenheit, and it keeps humidity in there. It should eggs should be hatched in the beginning around 50% humidity, and then towards the end of the hatch you raise it up to 60-70%. That just helps. The little chicks, they will start sipping out of the egg, right? So basically they cut around it, and then they pop out. And depending on your incubator, the temperature, if it's not exact, I mean, a degree up and down, that's fine. It could go until day 20. I've seen it even until day 22 until they start hatching. In a professional style incubator, they tend to hatch earlier, but it also depends on the setting. It's nature here at work. It's not exact science, even though it has quail eggs have been studied by science a lot. Fun fact: there was the first animal born in space or hatching in space. The Russians took them in the 60s. They took a bunch of quail eggs with them and had an incubator on their space station, and they hatched those quails. I really have to find that video and show it to you guys, because seeing quail floating around in space, it's actually quite awesome. But yeah, let's come back to Earth, right? I started with quail because I'm a bit more down to earth now than in my younger days, and I really wanted to have fresh eggs every day. And in some communities, they don't allow backyard poultry, which I think is actually, that should be illegal, that townships do not allow backyard poultry. Everybody should have the right to grow their own food. And anyway, I decided to do quail. They don't disturb anybody, they don't run around, the fox is not running after them either in the backyard, right? And it works. So if you live in a HOV, homeowners association, whatever, and they are like, oh no, you can't have chicken in your backyard, then think about quail, right? If you have a little shed somewhere, they are not that loud, they poop a lot, just remember that. You're gonna have free fertilizer for the rest of your life, and for your neighbors, and for your neighbors' neighbors, and for the friends of your neighbors' neighbors. Quail poop a lot, so think about how many you wanna keep, right? But free fertilizer, isn't that awesome? Organic, right? And some people put the quail poop straight on the plants. Some people let it compost a little bit. Depends on your plant as well, right? What you want to do there. But that should be known before you get into quail. And with every order we ship out, we have a little label on top. There is a free online course in regards to quail keeping. Even if you want to do like I did, make a business out of keeping quail, you can do that, right? You can sell them at your local farmers market, to your neighbors, at work, right? People will be happy, right, with the prices in the store, and they know what you put into it, right? You put a little bit of work into it. You have to clean your poop trays and things like that, and yeah, you have to feed them every day. They need their feed, they need their water. The baby chicks need their heat for the first 2 weeks after they're born, after the incubator. That's important. And then they're easy to keep. And as quail are native to the United States as well, right? They can be in any climate. It doesn't matter if you're up in Michigan, if you're in Florida, in the heat of Louisiana, in Texas. They can cope with any environment. It's just important that you provide them with a good environment in regards to protecting them from predators and make sure they are clean, right? That they are not crowded, that they have plenty of space, and all that good stuff. I like to keep them in hatching time equipment. So here is a little video, and I'm gonna fast forward here a little. So you find that here on Amazon as well. That's the layer cages where there's an egg rollout and the eggs stay clean, the birds are happy, they don't stand on wire or anything like that. There's little compartments. I have 5 quail in each compartment, 1 rooster with 4 girls. You can keep only girls, then you get the eggs. If you keep only roosters, even if they identify as a girl, you're still not gonna get any eggs from them. That's how it works. And with the Coturnix quail, with the brown type, you can actually see by their feathers, if I show you that now here a little bit, if it's boy or girl. With other types, they are not feather sexable, so you have to look somewhere else if it's gonna be a boy or girl. You learn that in our online course as well. So you see, like we learned in school, usually with birds, right? The man is a bit prettier than the female. The female, that's for a reason. The female, if she's broody and sits on the eggs in the nature out there, she doesn't want to be spotted by a cat, by a coyote, or whatever it might be, right? So that's why the girls are usually less pretty, and the boys are pretty. They have a shiny breast, so you can tell the difference on that. It's a little bit different than with us humans, right? If I look at my wife and me, she definitely got the looks. Anyway, yeah, that's how it works in nature. Boys and girls. And if you have girls only, they lay eggs. They don't need a rooster to lay eggs. Just that's often a question from people who start with quail or chicken. Well, do I need to keep a rooster? They are allowed? No, you don't have to. But if you order hatching eggs, there is no way to tell if it's going to be a boy or girl. I know that some countries have developed technology where they can tell while, not just by looking at the egg. There is a very expensive equipment out there where you can tell at a certain stage if it's going to be boy or girl. Yeah, we don't have that on our farm, right? So usually, from my experience, it's 50-50, but it depends also on temperature. There is some studies from different universities on that. We had universities as customers ordering quail eggs, doing whatever experiments with them to study them. So there's been a lot of work on that, but you really can't tell. And this, old wife tales by telling by the shape of the egg if it's gonna be a boy or girl, that's not working. So calculate with that. It's gonna be 50% roosters, 50% girls, and if you get a 50% hatch rate, it's great. We don't have a hatch rate guarantee in place because we don't know your equipment, your experience, the treatment and shipping. If we would have one in place, we would have to price the eggs much more expensive because if we would ship you free replacements, we would have to pay for shipping again. I mean, it costs money to produce those eggs, electricity, heating for the chicks, feed, our time. So therefore, we rather like to keep the price low you might have luck and you get a lot of chicks. You might be not so lucky. Depends on your equipment and all that stuff, shipping. And you get less. It's nature. Please don't blame the seller, any seller on Amazon or anywhere else. You know, if you order quail eggs, you should know we do our best here on the farm until these guys leave our hands, and after that, there is no guarantee in life other that you pay taxes and you're gonna die. That's it. There is no hatch rate guarantees on that, and most breeders don't have hatch rate guarantees for the reasons I just mentioned. Just wanna, throw that out there too. I'm open with that. There's no reason to hide anything. But we are here and I'm here to help you. If you have questions, pop them. You have a way to contact me. Pop your questions in there and I help you out. Now, a big trend are the button quail eggs. And I recently hatched some. I don't have them on my farm. We have them in 3 farms on our network. So we are covered there. We are in the middle of the country, in the south of the country. We ship them as quickly as possible to you. But the button are cute. And there is a growing trend to keep them as pets. And as a farmer, I have to say, I guess it's okay if you treat your pet well, right? Yeah, don't hoard animals. Treat them with respect like we do here on the farm. Our quail have a very happy life and one bad day, and that's how it is with farm animals, right? Now the buttons, I hatched them and they are so cute. I have to show you some pictures of them. I can't help it. Let's take a look here. Here is a button baby. Here we go. Little video.
That's our first button quail. Isn't he a cutie? He or she? Oh my god, so tiny! Look at that compared to my wedding ring. Such a cutie. Yeah, I put you in the warmth now.
And why are they called button? Because when they hatch, they are as small as a little button, I guess. That's why. Here is a picture. This is, I think, is it 5 or 10 cents coin next to the button. Their eggs are tiny, around this size compared to a normal chicken. I was up to say normal quail egg, button quail egg. It's about that size, and they are darker. But this one is actually just a training egg, but they are smaller as well. Some people like the button quail eggs also for their snakes because there's a lot of egg eating snakes out there, and the smaller egg for a smaller snake makes sense, right? So you can feed them to snakes, of course, as well. For human consumption, you would need a lot of button quail eggs, so I would not recommend that. But you could, technically. It's not an issue. They're really cute animals, and they are a bit skittish. They not always lay eggs. A bit harder to keep in that way, but yeah, I mean, they get familiar to you. Is maybe an option, right? To keep it as a pet. But, everybody to each their own, I would say. We are a farm. We don't really look at the quail as pets. They are a farm animal. They are a wild animal, a game bird, and yeah. It is what it is, but it's a trend out there. But speaking of trends, let me show you something else really cool. I got into manufacturing, right? Why not? Because I was looking all over the place and I wanted an option to present my favorite eggs. I collect them because sometimes I get space eggs. They look like a planet. Or I get a really pretty celadon egg like this one. And, well, should stand up like that. We have celadon eggs in the store as well with either speckles or not speckles. It's like a mix. And tiny cooking is a trend, right? You go ahead, breakfast, have a couple of that. So we sell that in packs of 4. So you can have a couple of them. Hot boil them or soft boil them for a couple of minutes. Normal chicken egg, depending on what attitude you are, it's 7 minutes for a chicken egg. Where I am in New Jersey, those guys need about 2-3 minutes, and then they're half cooked. But you figure it out. Just get a couple, figure it out. Cut it open, little spoon. It's a tiny cooking experience or tiny eating experience. Or what I like to do, I used when the yolk is still soft, I use it as a dip. Oh my god, I'm getting so hungry right now thinking about tomorrow's breakfast. Some fried bacon, egg yolk, and then the fried bacon in the egg yolk. Hazel, get me some food. Speaking of food, Hazel ate early on, so I don't know if she's ready to present her product, but we'll find out if she comes or not. So those cups, awesome little addition now in our store, made in the US as well. We don't ship that stuff in from China. Now, Easter edition. If you're quick, you get it before Easter. Easter bunny quail egg holder. Isn't it cute? I figured, I need something cute. And depending on the size of your egg, you might be able to close it fully, or it's just an extra addition on your breakfast table or Easter decoration around there. If you know somebody who has quail and you need a gift for them, I mean, that price you can't beat. It comes in a pack of 2. Nice little craft bag actually here, or box with a little window. You could write something on the side as well. So it comes in a pack of 2. You could hide a little piece of paper in there if you want to, give somebody a gift voucher or whatever. If you fold it well, $20 would fit in there as well. Just saying. If you need a little present for the kids around Easter or things like that. And the cool thing is you can paint them. Take a Sharpie. My wife got, or was it a neighbor kit? No, that was a neighbor kit. My wife got a bit creative with them as well. Where are they? Doesn't matter. You can paint on them. I think it gives you an idea. So it's really, really cute. An extra addition there. That's one I did. Isn't it? That's Mr. Cool. Yeah. I had a little production error, so a little doodle around. Why not? But you get the good stuff. Anyway. Nice little addition. By the way, we have, because Easter's coming up, and that's, for any quail or for any egg farmer, Easter is like, woo, we love Easter, right? Who doesn't? Because we get so much orders from the Easter bunny. Speaking of Easter bunnies, I was hiding some here in the background. I'm gonna count with you later how many I was hiding. So if you want to count them while I'm on, go ahead. And sometimes I hide some. I don't make it easy for you. And at the end of the show, we find out how many we will have here hidden on my little office desk setup here. Okay, the bunnies. Now, I mentioned early on, we never ship hatching eggs out older than 48 hours. For fresh egg, it's 72 hours. Then we don't consider it fresh anymore, even though it's still fresh. But it needs a couple of days to get to you. It's still fresher than any quail egg you will find in the supermarket. And we still have use for quail eggs if they don't qualify for shipping because it's a double yolker or it's too small or many, many other reasons. Or it's summertime and we ship less hatching eggs, right? Then we make something for your pet, and that is the Quailicious Boost, as we call it. It's an awesome way that we don't have waste on the farm. Because I mentioned early on, those quail, they are my income, right? If I don't care for them well, I won't have any income, right? And so I make sure they have a happy life. But also, I want to make sure that nothing gets wasted, like their eggs, right? And in the summertime, I like to go camping when we're a little less busy here on the farm. And that's a great way to bring eggs on a camping trip for your dog. If you take your cat camping, take it for your cat too, right? Or any carnivore animal who likes eggs, right? Here's the cat eating them. That food topper, it comes in a little shaker, and we have the generous section where the hole is a bit bigger. And we have the little drizzle section, right? And of course it's sealed when it comes to you. And there's an entire carton of quail eggs in there. We freeze dried, again, made here in the United States, not shipped in from anywhere. Made everything you see here except 2 things we couldn't find manufactured here, which is these guys. If you know somebody who makes them in the US, please let me know. And some cartons. That's all. But everything else what you see here on the channel is made or laid in the US, and we're proud about that. We are a network of small quail farmers, and we are happy to bring that to you. So yeah, that's like the Parmesan on top of your spaghetti for your pets, right? Hazel, when she was 2 years old, she started to be a bit picky about her normal food, and we came up with that idea not to waste any eggs, and here you go. Now when we go camping, when we're out and about, and for your pet, a little drizzle of that. It has all the vitamins and minerals preserved what the quail eggs offer. A totally natural product. We keep it in this container because we want to protect it, and it's good for years. But actually, I mean, if your pet likes it, and I'm pretty sure your pet likes it, right? It's about a month, I would say, depending how generous you are. If you use it for every meal, it lasts you a while, right? So really, really cool little thing we do here. Making sure that we don't waste any eggs, but more importantly, bring vitamins and minerals to your pets out there. Right? Now, the quail have a happy life on the farm, but one day they have a bad day. And that's okay, and we do that quick, and they don't see it coming, and we don't want to waste anything. Quail are great source of meat. Their meat is a little gamey because it's a game bird. It's definitely, the meat tastes different than the chicken. And if you keep quail for yourself, I mean, quail with some bacon around, if you go into New York City into a restaurant and order a meal with quail on it, $40 easily, easy, probably $50, just because it says quail on the menu in a French restaurant, and oh, le chef, oh la la, oh mon dieu, pour moi, oh la la. Now, anyway, yeah, if you keep quail for yourself, you know, their meat is great, and since we have a lot of quail, we make the pet cotton candy. It's called pet cotton candy because it looks like cotton candy. And let's take a look at it a bit closer here. So this is premium dehydrated quail meat, specially produced here in the US. We use a little technique to get it so fluffy. And we have other products too, which are not so fluffy. I get to them later. But why did I make them fluffy? There is older cats out there, older dogs out there. Their teeth might be not that great anymore, but they still deserve a great treat or a great food topper. Hazel, I need you now. Let's see if she comes and helps a bit. I mean, she gets paid a lot. In case you wonder who I'm shouting for, this is Hazel, a picture of her. She's our chief treat tester, and she only works like a couple of times a week. And Hazel, it's not Saturday yet, it's still Friday. Hey, you need a raise? Oh, I hope she comes. We shall find out. Anyway, the older animals deserve a great treat, which doesn't hurt their teeth. So we came up with the pet cotton candy. We didn't want to color it blue because it's meat. We do have a version with beetroot where it's a bit pink. Beetroot from our organic garden. But today I show you the yellow version. That's the natural yellow. So there's nothing artificial about this product other than the plastic around it, that it doesn't break in shipping. I was thinking about glass, but glass can break in shipping. So yeah, that's artificial, but it keeps your product fresh in here. And again, same as with the shaker, it stays fresh for a long time. Keep it closed proper. Make sure it doesn't get wet or anything. It's just premium quail meat in there, nothing else. Your pet will thank you. If it's a cat which is a little older, you can give it as a treat like that, or you sprinkle it on the normal food. Hazel likes it as a snack as well, even though Hazel is still young and actually likes more the crunchy stuff, which I'm gonna show you. And seems like I should have not fed her before the show. She got her dinner before the show, and now she's like somewhere in the living room, I guess. Yeah, lesson learned. You always learn something new on the quail farm, especially if it comes to your employees. Anyway, great product. Only nature in there, nothing artificial, no additives, no nothing, and there's no sugar in there, even though we call it pet cotton candy. So check it out. Great product what we make here on the farm as well. Now, if you want something crunchier, I talked about it, that's when the crunch sticks come in. The quail has a spine like we do as well, and most people throw that away or feed it to their dogs or cats or pigs and so on. And we came up with the crunch stick here, which is the spine of the quail. There's a bit meat on it. We dehydrate it as well, right? So it's safe and shelf stable, and it gives a nice crunch. And you can break it apart in little pieces if you like to, depending on the size of your dog. I mean, Hazel goes for the whole thing. If I would let that lay out here and step away for a second, if she's hungry, gone. The entire pack, gone. And that's okay. But it's more like a treat. It's a special treat for training. A lot of people, they go hunting. They want to train their dog for retrieval. A great training tool because you don't need these artificial scents they sell online. Use nature, right? If you're a quail hunter, want to train your dog to retrieve the quail, yeah, I mean use our treats to use for the training there. But it's also, if you're not a bird dog trainer, it's a great natural product, again made in the United States, which comes from our farms to you. Hazel, I really wish you would be here. Now I'm presenting your product and you're not here to show it. Hazel baby. Nah, I think maybe she makes an appearance later. We shall find out. But that's her in a little cartoon style version. That's Hazel's favorite, the Crunch Bites. That's again also dehydrated premium quail meat. For an extra crunch, we use the shell of the egg to put in extra crunch and extra calcium, right? So it's a great treat, again made here with love in New Jersey, as you can see here. And you can get it today in the store. You can also subscribe and save for it, for example, right? That's an option too. To save a little bit, and then you get it shipped every 2 weeks or monthly. And great training treats. Again, you can break them off easily if you want to kind of portion how much your dog or your ferret would like it too. Just because there's Hazel on it, it's not just for dogs. Your ferret would love that. I'm 100% sure. Because we tried it out on a ferret, by the way. So the Crunch Bites, again, great product, extra crunchy with a little sprinkle of the eggshell in there. Of course, that was washed before and everything. So a good product here we bring to you as well. Now, if you are into quail keeping and going to, swaps and things like that, because there's so many colors of quail. Let me show you a few colors of quail. Here we go. Here we have kind of a wild type here, this brown one on the left, that guy. This is a speckled one or a white one. There is then something called an English white, which is nearly everything white there. And again here, I can't point at it anymore. I have to set that up differently. But you get the idea. There's so many different color variations, feather variations, genetics, and all this good stuff. If you get really nerdy about it, I could talk for hours about it. But I'm not the biggest expert on genetics. We have other people, other farmers in our network who help me with that a bit. Because they know it inside out. I only keep 2 types of quail here, and the other guys, they have color variations. It's absolutely amazing. It's a really cool hobby. Here's a dotted white there, or they call it English white. Texas A&M University used to work with quail too in the past. So many variations. It's absolutely awesome. So now if you go for bird swap, or if you're a quail farmer and you are thinking about shipping quail, right? We have a great product here from Brian's Roost. She's known in the quail world a lot. Jennifer, she uses all her products herself on her farm. So I want to show you that a little bit. I already folded it. It comes flat in a pack of 10. But there's so many uses for it, right? The quail cages, what I showed you early on, they need to be cleaned, you know, and I have a cleaning schedule where I do a certain cleaning procedure every day when I collect the eggs. Then there is a weekly one, a monthly one, and then there's the big clean every 3 months where I take everything out, I power wash everything, and the quail need to be somewhere in this time, right? They cannot stay. You don't want to power wash the cage with the quail in there. That's not nice. I mean, quail are waterproof, but still, we don't do that to the quail. So this is actually a shipping box, and it comes in green. My green screen setup turns it blue, but it's okay. You get the idea when we zoom in here a little bit. There's little holes and there's a membrane in there. So if the quail has the funny idea, or a little chick, the funny idea to stick out a foot or part of a wing or whatever, that can't happen. So your bird is safe in there. Safe for shipping. Safe for transportation if you go to a poultry swap. If you do maintenance work in your cage, right, like I use it for. Folds up, it's USPS approved. That's important. They're the only guys transporting live animal. So it's approved by the postmaster there. Says it exactly on it by the manager of mail standards, blah, blah, blah. Very easy to fold and store it away again. That's why I like it too, because, you know, I have a lot of quail, and if I do the cleaning, I put them for each breeding group. They go in a box. I put them to the side. They have some water in there, some food in there, and I do all my cleaning, and then they move back in, right? So it's a great, awesome product what we have here for you as well. Now, speaking about transporting quails to a show, or you attend a virtual show, ShowPro is your friend. That's again from a breeder developed here in Alabama. Bessemer, I hope I pronounced it right. Sorry, Carrie, if I mispronounce it. Carrie makes the ShowPro. It's a poultry supplement, and also for game birds like quail. And it's one of the only ones out there. I think it's still the only one. You can fact check me if you like. It has sustain in there. That sustain is used in humans as well for preventing hair loss. Works. It works for the birds too. For their feathers, they will look great if you put them on a regular schedule, and that's why we send you a 10-pound bag. So that's much bigger than this little one I have here in the office. So the birds, they need, you know, extra vitamin, extra protein, calcium, all this good stuff. The list is long, so you have to click on the product to see the entire list. You know, again, developed from a breeder for breeders, so he knows exactly what the birds need. It's very popular right now. Some great developments happening in there with Champions Blend, ShowPro. So check it out if you want to give something extra. Not to be the only food for your birds, but as a supplement. You eat what you feed. That's kind of what I think. And yeah, that's how it works. Now, speaking of working, let's see if we get Hazel to come in here. Hazel! I need to make a little more noise. I have here some treats for her. What I got here, is it a treat? Should have not fed her before. Definitely should have. Okay, lesson learned. Sorry, guys. Well, the good news is I'm online again on Sunday, 7:30 Eastern. And I make sure that I don't feed Hazel before that time. She gets a little snack before, of course, and maybe a late lunch. So, because she's the cutest Labradoodle in the world, and she inspired our treats as well. I mean, you know, you need to look after your pets. And speaking about pets, you know, if you click out the products below, you can check out all the great things we make for pets, from the quail, from the gift what nature gives us. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show now a little bit. And also, I wish you a great start into the weekend. Think about next week's breakfast. fresh quail eggs. Yummy. I'm gonna actually hard boil now some, and when I finish up here shop, then I have some as a snack. You can make pickled eggs with them too. It's awesome. Make your own flavor. It's a great party treat, right? One of these things I obviously do as a quail farmer when I'm invited to any kind of party. And okay, now I have to be honest. It's like when you hard boil them, to actually go ahead and get the shell off, to peel them, is a bit of a task. Especially if you make deviled eggs like for 40 people. So that means you're gonna probably hard boil 100 eggs and then peel them all and then cut them in half and take the yolk out and then make your mayonnaise. And then I like to put quail liver in there too. And spices and all that good stuff, and then fill them up again. Yeah, it's a 2 hours task. If I would finally buy an egg peeler, it would go much quicker, I guess. But, you know, I have sometimes little helpers at home. They help me with that. And it's a great treat, right? Hard boiled, soft boiled, anyway, like an egg, right? I'm not going to do the Forrest Gump thing here now. There's this one scene where he talks about the shrimp and all the stuff you can make with shrimp. You can do a lot of things with eggs. It's actually amazing. I bought once a book, 100 things you can do with eggs. If you have too many eggs, let me know. I help you with that too. Yeah. So, yeah, it is the hour nearly full. I get really hungry now. I hope you already had your dinner. If not, I wish you a good appetite. And I see you again on Sunday, 7:30 Eastern. And thanks for tuning in today. Again, my name is Christian. And I'm the local New Jersey guy with quail eggs. And our network, we have so many great farmers like Mandy and Rob in Georgia, Eddie and Rebecca in Texas, Bonnie and Paca in Florida, Jackson and Daniel in Texas, Jennifer and David in Tennessee, Carrie in Alabama, Jim and Amber in Louisiana, I'm Eric and Nicole in New York State, and Aaron and Christina in Louisiana, and Kelly and Joe in Utah, and Greg and his family in Missouri. And I hope I don't forget anybody right now. I want to thank them all as well in case they watch a replay, because we do a great job here on our farms for you guys to bring made and laid in the US products to your homestead, or to your kitchen, or to your incubator, or to your pet. Now, speaking of pet, I hear something going on up there. Is it Hazel just looking out the window, not showing up? Or is she finally coming down here? I don't know. But let's call it a day. Thanks again for watching. I wish you a good rest of your day.